No, we can't hear you. Welcome to all of y'all on behalf of the College of Home Science, Nirmala Niketan, the IIC, which is the Institution Incubation Cell under the MHRD. We warmly welcome each one of you for this very important session on intellectual property rights. Intellectual property is a very, very broad subject today, and whatever is the new innovation in whichever field, I think this goes hand in hand. Any new innovation, you require the IP, and we have a very, very renowned person today, an expert in this subject, Dr. Munshi, who will take us through the journey of intellectual property. I would request Dr. Anjali to please give her brief introduction before Dr. Munshi begins. Anjali, you will have to unmute. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. It's my proud privilege to introduce such a knowledgeable person. Her CV is very vast. Let me briefly read out her achievements. Dr. Munshi is Assistant Professor and Area Chairperson in NMIMS University. Her area of specialization is Intellectual Property Rights Law and History. About her educational qualification, she is PhD, JPO IPR training course for IP trainers, postgraduate diploma in patent law and practice, bachelor's of law, MPhil. Her areas of research interest are intellectual property rights law, history, labor law, human rights, and environment. Dr. Munshi is receiver of various research projects and grants which she has successfully completed. She has involved in filling of copyrights. She has involved in filling of copyrights of many prestigious institutes. She has 12 years of teaching experience and 5 years in industry. Dr. Munshi is receiver of various fellowship awards and honors such as Permanent Member of United Nations Office at Geneva for European Union Public Relation, Questel Award for IP Excellence in India in 2016, Award for Women Achievers in International Women's Day in 2017 from Dena Bank. She has participated in various summits, conferences, and seminars, and presented 10 papers in international conferences, 9 in national conferences. She has published 9 papers in various prestigious journals. Ma'am is legal member of CBP Independent Ethics Committee. She has attended various workshops and professional training programs. Dr. Munshi has guided and helped students in various presentations of research papers, debates, and moot court competition where students have received awards. She is knowledge partners at various international and national conferences. We are really fortunate to have you, ma'am, over here, and we are expecting to learn a lot from your knowledge and experience. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Srivastava. It's very kind of you and very kind words. If you can allow me to share the screen because the presentation is there and I would like everybody to see the presentation also along with what I say. It will make a lot of sense. So please allow me to show the presentation. All right, here we are. And yes, looking at, and first and foremost, the most important thing is I'd like to thank each one of you for coming here today this morning, especially Ila ma'am for inviting me and Ms. Rodriguez who has been coordinating with me. Without taking much of your time, we will move to the presentation and let's learn or understand what all IPR is all about. I'll tell you it's a huge, just one moment please. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, let's understand what intellectual property is all about. As the word says, intellectual property rights. Now, intellectual, of course, it is creation of mind. What do we do with our minds? I think we do a lot of things. From early morning till we sleep, or even when we are dreaming, our mind is alert or constantly it's on. Sometimes we dream about things, sometimes we are coming across problems and we are looking for a solution. Simple problem that we face in our day-to-day life is about traffic or reaching on time to our destination. Probably we are sitting in our car or traveling and we wonder, what if we could fly? Well, things are moving or there is progress in that area also. Let's see what we can do further with all our problems that we have in life and looking out for solutions. If I may begin with the caveman till date, we've had progress. We've never gone back with progress. We've always gone ahead with progress. Forward is the way that we go. The next thing what I've realized with this number of years and the life that we lead, and each one of us, we have touched years and age. Every time we started in 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, from a color television to a mobile phone to a number of things. And now it is so comfortable that you have one little instrument in your hand which has news, which has the internet, which has WhatsApp. You have so many things. You have the camera. These were all different things. If you were traveling, you had to do so much. You had to wait for an STD call or an ISD call. Easier. Solution is what intellectual property rights is all about. Well, there are many intellectual property rights. I'm going to deal with them all separately so that it becomes easier for us to understand. Property, people take it. I mean, I still, people wonder, what property are we talking about? Is it land, flats, buildings, bungalows? Well, that is also property. But intellectual property, you will see how things have changed and, how this intellectual property is much more, money making, as I call it, vitamin M, which is required, money, is very essential. Big companies, we all are in it. Nobody is out of intellectual property. Our rights, of course, we are born with it. Let me move a little ahead with it. Why IP? What is IPR? The rationale behind and the different types of IP. Well, we've all heard this story and we know. And as I said, it's problem solution. The crow had to pick up pebbles and, to quench his thirst, a number of pebbles were put in, and then, of course, he applied his mind. And next thing, the race which went on. Well, just to make it very light to begin with, the problem solution, as I said, you see now there is a straw, and the next thing you can move faster. Well, let me just ask you one simple question, and if anybody could answer, you could, just be very comfortable and answer it. I always ask very simple questions. And from now on, I think you will start looking, or you'll wear your glasses of IPR. And just a simple question, who invented the straw? I mean, we use it day in and day out. I mean, when we are having a beverage or, you are at Starbucks or someplace, there is a straw. How? How did this straw come into being? Who invented it? Who is the inventor? Did we ever think who invented it? No, we never thought about it. We said, okay, it's there. We have to use it. We are using it, and that's it. No more further. Okay, let me put another question. I said I'll ask you simple questions. Who invented the needle? Safety pin. Day-to-day life, every day we use it. Almost, it's there lying in the house somewhere. Well, you need to see some answers. Whenever you have something in your hand, perhaps a very simple thing like a glass, So was there an inventor to a glass? How did these utensils come? Okay, that takes me down history, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, even further than that. How did these clay pots come? What was the problem that they faced? And how did they come up with solutions? Well, jump, jump, jump. I'm sure his legs must have pained a lot. Now the solution is a small little table. He can climb and get what he wanted. That's it. First hand axe. I told you, ideas. Without ideas, and even if I may say, the local farmer, it's not about all being educated. Sometimes even uneducated people, you'll see, or even school children, are receiving patents today. School children, yes. When I was in Japan and we were told an 11-year-old boy received a patent. So I was completely amazed that how could an 11-year-old boy get a patent? Because, they are going ahead with their system of education, which is quite different. In the first place, of course, I feel what they do is something really very nice in their schools. They have this science exhibition. They don't call it science exhibition anymore. They call it IP Olympics. So your students are not supposed to put up charts or anything of that sort. What you are going to do is innovate, create, and that's how IP Olympics is there in Japan and various other parts of the world. So the word science exhibition is replaced by IP Olympics, and they are protected once you come across one of the best models of innovation. There you are. Again, a little bit of my experiences which I'll be sharing with you. There is a electronic hub in Japan called Akihabara, and every second day I repeat, there was a new mobile phone coming up. You can understand the kind of technology, the application of mind, the efforts, all of it. N number of people who are working on it. So here you are, the first hand axe. I would say that's the first weapon that came up. Then needles. I can't imagine what would happen without needles, stitching of clothes, etc. Well, the same needle was taken by someone and looked at it carefully. And there was a fine, thin hole made, and it was cylinder in shape. And there you had something called injections being made, life-saving drugs being given to people. Writing words and languages. This we do every day, every day. Trust me. Your SMS, your WhatsApp, all of it has a lot of writing, words, the kind of languages. How did they all come about? Who taught us? How did we learn so many things? Yes, of course, we went to school, colleges, and then we got our degrees. All of it worked. Who wrote the alphabet A? I told you simple questions, looking for some answers. Who wrote A to Z? Languages. Which was the first language in the world? See, we came from, evolution, as we say, from caveman till date. And the most important thing is the marketplace. If you're there in the marketplace, trust me, none of us will ever go to a shop and say, show me some old mobiles. Though you may have a budget of some amount with you in your hand and you already have made up your mind that, okay, this is what I'm going to buy for myself. But ultimately, the shopkeeper is also one person who will show you the one which is the latest. And somewhere in your mind, you'll feel, okay, I wish I could buy this one. Whether you go to a jewelry store or, a footwear or anywhere that you are, what do you see? Everything new. The word new is very, very important in IP. Please bear that in mind. New or novelty, as we call it. Consumer world needs, wants, innovate or perish. You have to. I have good friends and I've been working for so many years that, we tend to meet a lot of people. My students are working in various companies. And I realized, okay, so at our institute, we do invite people. So we had this Unilever manager, legal manager coming in. So he's a very good friend. So I asked him, Jan, what do you mean by new lux? Every time you use the word new. And in IP, the word new means it is absolutely new and there is no prior art. Prior art, anything before that, nothing. So he said, yes. I said, past 50 years or even more that we've been seeing lux. How do you say it's new? So he says the formula or the chemical or the process by which the product is made is new. Example, he said that okay, first we started with maybe lux, then we had rose petals, then we had with aloe vera, sometimes with cream, a number of things, maybe with coconut oil. So it went on, right? So the word new becomes important. And in the marketplace, if you see, when they started with Dove, it was only one soap. Now Dove for shampoo, now you have Dove for babies. Point is you have to have, innovation in whatever you do. What is IPR? Activity of the mind, different from manual, physical, born out of imagination. Now, you see, when you work in companies, huge companies, small companies, SMEs, or wherever, ultimately a person has to gain something, and that results in one thing: generation of wealth. You see, companies like Novartis or Roche or Pfizer, these are all, been there in the.
Dr. Munshi, you will have to unmute yourself because I've muted everybody. There was some disturbance in between. Yeah.
Right, thank you so much. Now here you are, if you go to WIPO, WIPO, I would request each one of you to just, take this down because this is very important. WIPO, WIPO is an organization, World Intellectual Property Organization. I'm sure some of you are aware of it. They have their distance learning courses. Please enroll yourself. There are courses which are free like DL001 and 101. You'll get a certificate from them and you can attach that to your CV as well. There are paid ones also for which you will be given a supervisor and that supervisor will guide you. You will have to write a dissertation. It's one of the best organizations in the world based in Geneva, Switzerland. So I've been there, so I know those people very well. They have a separate academy and they have their distance learning programs. So you could go ahead and a little further that I may take, just for 30 seconds that I would inform you about the summer school programs. Presently it's closed, but in future you can enroll for their summer school programs. My students have been there. We were planning this year to go, but you see what has happened. So we had to cancel our plans. So the point here is, if it's not about age. Please don't think that okay, now is not the time. I'm not a teenager to end up over there. And no, it's nothing of that sort. People of all kinds, and please, point to be noted, there are PhDs, post PhDs, graduates, and undergraduates all enrolling for the course. So there are 5,000 applications coming in and they have 200 seats. So you need to apply to that. So you can go for a summer school, which is like 2 weeks. They work only on Monday to Friday. So weekends you could, go around Europe. Well, let's proceed. Now property, as I said, you look at yourself, you are with property, whether it is, your clothes, your shoes, your jewelry, your mobile phones, your glasses, a number of property. You're born with it. Sometimes you're gifted things. It is also useful. You'll have to excuse me. I will put up the presentation. I will forward it to ma'am and then you can have it, because since we have, the time constraint and there is so much to speak about, I would like to skip a few slides if you don't mind. Now, rights we all have, we are entitled, it's a privilege, it's a power, and I always tell my students, you have one big right, and that is right to speech. You continuously talk in class, or you can have a marathon or a talkathon, and I'm sure most of my students will win. Well, that's how they are. So, yes, even when we were students, we used to talk a lot. I don't know what we used to talk, but yes, we used to talk. Well, That's the point. So here you have rights. It changes. It is entitled. It's given by someone. Then you have a legal status. It's a privilege to do something. Moving to intellectual property rights, it's like a triangle. Let me put it. The first part I would say is the R&D, or the science as we can call it in short. So science would include all of it. That is engineering, pharmacy, your BSc, MSc. This brings me to one more point. All of people with science background, I'm sure you are aware, or I can just put it across, can appear for a patent agent exam, which is conducted by Government of India. You will get a license to practice in India. After the amendment, the law says that only people with science background can become patent agent. Earlier, anybody could become a patent agent. You could just go apply for, pay the fees, and you would get a license to practice. Today, it's not the case. And if you're looking for your career in IPR or working in companies, they would, want you to be a patent agent, because it is very, very essential to be a patent agent. Now, what does a patent agent do? Patent agent does filing of patents in the patent office, and along with that, they're also allowed to do opposition of patents. So what do you have to do to become a patent agent? Well, nothing much. One book called Indian Patent Act, you need to completely understand it with the form and fees. The next thing you can do is look at the PCT, Patent Cooperation Treaty, and the route. So that is the international filing which takes place. You designate countries from there. There are three parts of this exam. Again, I repeat, there are, the entire nation is applying to become a patent agent. Only people with science background. You could be a BSc also. It's all right. With the BSc graduation, you can go ahead and, go for your patent agent exam. So the first part is the Indian Patent Act, which you have to do. The second part is drafting of patents. Drafting of patents, we have workshops which are conducted, and we train you for patent agent exams also. And the third part is Viva Voce, which is conducted by the patent office. All three exams are conducted by patent office. The first part is, the examination. The second part is again the drafting. Drafting, see, it's like an exam paper. All these papers are there online. You can go to the Indian Patent Office website. You'll find all the information. Plus the Viva Voce, there is a panel. One would be the examiner. The other would be, a person from who's a consultant, or from a law firm. And one could be an academician. So you will have three people conducting a Viva for you. You clear all three, you will get your license to practice. Most of the pharma companies and FMCG companies prefer having patent agents working for them. The second part is the commerce part. Commerce, that is the ownership, the property, the selling, the making, etc. You need to make money. In your R&D, you spend crores and crores and millions and zillions of dollars or rupees. And by the end of it, you have to have some kind of a process or product. It goes into the market, you start making money. And the third part is law. So what are your rights? When you have a patent, you have a monopoly for 20 years. So you are the only one who will be able to make and sell. Nobody else. If somebody else tries doing that, you go to the court. Then you have a legal person or a lawyer or an advocate or your legal department in your company handling that part. So it basically works in a triangle. You have to have successful business. Just sharing with you, one of the companies, they tried for almost 10 years and nothing came up. 10 years, they pushed in a lot of money, in their R&D, and they realized nothing is coming up and they closed down. They were at a big loss. So if you are not going to innovate, you will perish. It's very, very important that you have to innovate. Intellectual property rights, in short, we call it IPR. These are the different types of IPs, whether it is a patent, trademark, copyright, geographical indication, all of it. What do you need? Protection. Need for IP protection. Shelf life of a banana, why did I say that? Because you see people out there, consumers, are always looking for new things, always. So if a mobile phone, what you were using probably 10 years ago, I'm sure you don't even have it at your home. You must have just, discarded or thrown it away. Would you like to have, the phone which came in initially, which was almost half a kilo of weight, followed by, an antenna coming out? You don't even see those mobile phones today in the market. So market moves completely. Innovation is what people are doing. It's all about protection. Where are you applying for? Which country are you taking your protection? This is the IP. I'm going to deal with each one of it separately, but yes, just to put it forth, patents are for inventions, trademarks are for association, copyright is for expression, plants, breeders' rights is for natural rights, then growing, plants of different varieties. There is also utility model and design, as we call it. In India, we do not have utility model, though my very good friend, he is retired now, the assistant controller of patents, Dr. Kardam. We were in Japan together. So he has worked on it. He has the act completely ready with him. It is just to be tabled in the parliament, but till date it's been done so because they feel if they bring in the utility model, patents would, be very difficult or people wouldn't want to apply for the patents. So we have a design act. We call it industrial design, and there is a proper law in place. Geographical indication. This is the most beautiful IP, which I personally like. It's a specific location. If I say Darjeeling tea, Alfonso mangoes, Kolhapuri chappal, so you get associated with a place. And trade secret is the best one. You will come across this all the time. The word itself is so nice, trade and secrets. It is, and the best one is, which we all are aware, Coca-Cola. So how do you keep it a secret? In the first place, all your IPs are secret. Let me put it this way, all the IPs. And the next thing you will realize, you or your company has to take a call, understand whether I should be applying for a patent, keeping it a trade secret. Now the difference between the two is when I apply for a patent, I have to disclose it to the patent office. I have to put a complete specification, disclose how I made this product, and then will I get a monopoly. Whereas trades, and I get a monopoly for 20 years. If Coca-Cola had to put a patent application, their monopoly for 20 years would be over. They're successful in keeping it a secret for more than 100 years. So the best part, would you like to keep it a trade secret? It's a call which the company and you will have to take. You in the sense, when you start working for a company or the company has to take a decision, and it's not so easy. You see, your trade secret has to be kept very, very carefully. You cannot have it up in the public domain. So how do you keep it a trade secret? There is an art, or you have to handle it very, very carefully. Now let's move to the first IP, as I say, the trademark part of it. Now this morning, I'm sure we all started with IP. And now you must be saying, she looks at everything with IP. Yes, I do. But the first morning thing that we have a toothbrush in our hand, and we use Coca-Cola toothpaste, and we use Nescafe shampoo, and Nescafe shampoo, and what else? We are wearing Colgate slippers. It's all wrong. Something is wrong. No, we don't do that. Oh, yes, you're right. We don't. It's a Colgate toothpaste. It could be some other shampoo. It cannot be a Coca-Cola chappal. Why? Why? Let me tell you, an image is created in your mind. It's fixed. It's absolutely fixed. You will not budge an inch. Your mind will not budge an inch. To bring Coca-Cola as a shampoo, or Coca-Cola as a chappal, or Coca-Cola as jewelry, it's there, it's fixed. It's a bottle. That image came immediately to your mind, or it's right there in front of your eyes. I just have to use the word Coca-Cola, or even I have to use the word Pepsi or Fanta or 7-Up. I did not keep the bottles in front of you. I just said the name. And when I said I want Coca-Cola, you will not get coffee for me or you will not get tea for me, but you will get Coca-Cola. You do that in a restaurant. What will happen? He'll get you Coca-Cola, right? He also knows what is Coca-Cola. You also know Coca-Cola. Cadbury. You are in a shopping mall. Let me take you through you need to have your imagination. We are all going to a shopping mall and there we are buying things. Now, a very simple thing that can be done as an exercise. Everything is covered in white. There is no name, no logo, no color, no alphabets, nothing. And you are supposed to do your shopping for the day. I can say you will take hours and hours and hours to complete your shopping, because you will have to open up every packet to see whether it is tea, coffee, sugar, butter, cheese, bread, whatever, and it'll take hours. But when you enter the shopping mall and you just walk in and you see this purple and golden letters, you know it's Cadbury. You are in the toothpaste section. There are a number of products in toothpaste also. You see the red and white, it's Colgate. You don't even have to read Colgate, actually, the entire word. You just pick it up. You are in the section to take soap to wash the utensils. There is a green wrapper with a lemon on it. Automatically, you know it's Vim. And then you go home and you are now, putting up things in their respective place at home. And you realize it's not Vim, it's Vim. And you could say, how did I get this? Well, there are fakes in the marketplace. So you have to be very careful. Just sharing a small anecdote with you. We had the legal manager of Cadbury talking to us students. So, he brought eclairs for all of them and he distributed in the class. Everybody, very decently kept it. So he asked us that can they consume, and we said yes, they can. And they all consumed. Some had a smile on the face. Somebody was not very happy with the product. And then he said that, okay, I would like you to give me a feedback on the chocolate. And some of them said, of course, it is eclair and it's very nice. The other says, no, you need to really do something about it. It's not so good. The taste is not the same anymore. And he said, okay, now I request all of you to look at the wrapper. And when they opened up the wrapper, some of them had Cadbury eclairs in their hand, and some of them had the fake ones. Because we don't look, we don't give a second look, and then there is the problem. It was written with the same fonts. Let me warn you, it's the same trade dress as we call it, the purple and golden letters. And the way Cadbury is written, somebody out there was faking it to be Cadbury and was written Chowdhury. So you understand how difficult it is for companies to monitor and look into the marketplace that nobody is faking their goods. Unilever takes, it very responsibility that, okay, if even one piece of fake soap is there in the marketplace, it's going to damage their reputation in the market. They immediately raid the place. Of course, they have to take the court's permission and take the police constable, etc., and then go and raid it and stop. This fake of goods or faking of goods, I'm sure most of us have come across and we have suffered all of it. So looking at the trademark aspect, it is divided into two parts, goods and services. So goods are, which I just showed you. These are the goods part. Services are something like airlines, coaching classes, gym, beauty parlors. They're providing services to you. So trademark has a different kind of thing altogether. It leaves a mark on your, imagination or in the brain that yes, this is associated. Because if I say Lux, obviously a soap will come to your mind and you will not think about an airline. It's distinctive. It has to be. You calling sweet will not make it distinctive. Pepsi, it's a invented word. What is the meaning of Pepsi? Pepsi is a meaningless word, let me tell you. But today it has got a meaning of a beverage, a dark cola. There you are. So visuals, words, letters, numbers, audio sounds, musical notes, smell. Yes, a little bit that I must tell you, that trademark, service mark, trade names, all of them, hotel, restaurant services. Yes, just to put it on record, this is what, like, when you apply for registration, the certificate of trademark is given. I have put up both the sites. One is the US side and the other is the Indian Trademark Office. So this one piece of paper, as I call it, is a legal document which tells you that you are the owner of that trademark. It has the date, it has where it has been issued, whom it has been issued. So it is very, very important. Very important to have these certificates. And why? I'll just tell you why it is important to have. Now you see, we have started with something called sound marks. The first one was Yahoo Doodle, which was granted. MGM, Roar of the Lion, you see how they had to go ahead. I put that slide on purpose because today sound marks are registered in India. So Yahoo was the first word in 2008 that was registration was granted by the Indian Patent Office. Well-known trademarks, collective certification mark. You see, I'm going a little quick because of time constraint. I'm extremely sorry for that. But yes, there's so much of information on each IP to deal with separately. Now, when we study law, I always tell my students, you must look at only one thing in law, and that is what you cannot do. The law is very clear. So if the Trademark Act, the Patent Act, or the Copyright Act tells you cannot, so if there are 30 cannots or 40 cannots, cannot be done or cannot be applied for, the rest can. So even in our Trademark Act, the most important is, public order and morality. Just sharing with you one example. If somebody is, applying for a trademark, and especially God's name or Mahatma Gandhi or the national flag, these are all not accepted by the registry. You have to avoid using it. You see, God's photograph is put on something. Recently, you must have seen that Amazon had put up the national flag, and they were selling it on mats. And Sushma Swaraj was alive that time, and she also tweeted that please do not buy these things, and she warned them, and it was brought down immediately. So public order and morality is a very big issue. All our state emblems cannot be used as trademarks. Though you may love our country, our flag and the emblems, but you can't have them on your wedding cards or in your house, or you can't, it's not allowed. Trademark is, the term for protection is 10 years. Renewable, again you have to apply. You have to pay up a fees. You have to fill up a form and pay up fees. Now there is one area in trademarks which is called unconventional trademarks, like this, smell. It is about sound, taste, touch, smell. People are talking about it. We have a draft in place, but there is a lot of reason or rationale which is put behind it. So your unconventional marks like the color mark. Now color mark, single color mark. Now if they had to apply here in India, we have combination of colors, not one color mark will be granted. So here you go ahead and you see even posted. I have put up the registration number on purpose so you can check it out. In US, they are granting it. In Europe also they are granting, but India, we are doing combination of colors. Now this is one touch. Now the velvet touch, there is a wine bottle inside. Well, the registration number has been put up. So the feel or the touch is granted registration. The shape marks, in India we do grant shape marks. Now this was a case of the bottle of vodka. I think, we have only 15 minutes left and I need to cover a lot. So I'm just going to skip slides. Sound marks, as I told you, India is giving sound marks today. Smell. Now this is so very different. The thread out there you see is registered. So if you're going to stitch your clothes with that, you don't have to wear perfume anymore. The clothes would have that perfume. Look at that tennis ball over there. It smells of fresh cut grass. Now it snows in Europe a lot, and the summer feeling is to be gotten. So that's why they have laced it with fresh cut grass. I don't know how it smells, but yes, it has been granted. Smell and scent, moving images. In India, we have not recognized it. It's in motion. Now Lamborghini, European registration has been granted. So if you see the car doors open up the other way, so yes, it has been granted. Even craft food for chocolates, they have been granted in UK. So here you are. I'm sorry I had to skip a few slides to move a little faster because there are so many IPs to be covered. Geographical indication. We had cases on basmati rice. US was using it as our IP, and we remind it is our IP or geographical indication. There's one point to be noted. There is a lot of overlapping of IP. Overlapping in the sense, if I say Darjeeling tea obviously becomes one, is a geographical indication, and you see the logo which has been put out over there, the lady holding those tea leaves, she becomes the trademark out there. So there are two things in this, the geographical indication and the trademark part of it. It's the same with basmati rice. Worldwide is recognized. Today, India is filing, I would say, left, right, and center from all the states. Everybody is filing for a GI. Whether it is, Tirupati Laddu, whether it is Naga Julakya, whether it is Lucknowi chicken curry work, or Alfonso mango, Nagpur oranges, Kolhapuri chappal, you name it. Every state has something to offer on geographical indication. As the word says, GI, geographical, telling you about the area, indicating the place coming from. Please note, the most important thing out here is when it is for agricultural goods, the climate and soil makes a big difference. Now, this is one part wherein people tried doing something. They took these Alfonso trees from Ratnagiri with the soil, and they went to Gujarat and they planted those trees out there. The fruit which came up was not so successful as what the Alfonso mango is. Why? They could take the tree, the plant, or the soil, but how could you take the climate? So that became an issue. So it did not taste the same. So when you are going to a particular place, maybe you are going to Switzerland, maybe you are going to, various parts of the globe, immediately we want to know what is so very famous about the place. If you are going to, France, you will say, okay, Eiffel Tower. But then next is wine and champagne. So champagne makes a lot of money for them. It's money making. People from Switzerland had come down here to India and they spoke to the ministry because somebody was using this word Swiss chocolate. And they said, please, it's a request that you should not use the word Swiss chocolate because it is damaging their reputation. And well, the government of India did take note of it, and that manufacturer had to stop. Because one, you're not Swiss chocolate, and two, you see the kind of way it is made. Simple example, Agre ka petha. If you go to Taj, the next thing you'll move down a lane or two, walking a few kilometers. The one side of the road you'll find Agre ka petha from one end to the other, and the other side is the leather goods. Very much and very important point to be noted, it is not granted to an individual, it is granted to an association. This is one IP which does not go to an individual, but it goes to an association. Again, here you have to apply for it as an association. 10 years of protection, and this is what a certificate is granted from the Indian registry. Industrial design. We all see designs. We love designs. Our clothes are never going to repeat. Maybe the design of the shoe is going to be different. The jewelry is going to be different. The car design, the mobile design, even small little things, and design has a lot of importance. Again, you see n number of designs. Even the chairs that we sit on have been changing, whether it is even your pen drive, what we had earlier. So what is industrial design? It's the ornamentation and it's the external feature which is very, very important. So the external feature becomes very important in this aspect. It has to be very distinctive, and it is to be, there has to be no prior art. I've been saying prior art. What is prior art? What was there before this? Example, if I say what was there before a pen, so somebody will say a pencil. What was there before a pencil? Somebody will say a crayon. Okay, what was there before a crayon? A chalk. What was there before a chalk? Maybe a quill with somebody dipping ink and writing. Or what was there before that? Okay, stone man, he took a piece of rock and scribbled on the other side of the rock, and there you had what? Languages, signs, symbols. What was he doing? Drawings, copyright. So was the stone man also developing IP? It's a question. But there were no IP rights at that point of time. It comes in much later. The patent office gives you a certificate for this also, and the registry is in Kolkata. So you have to apply for, and the criteria it is to be new and original. Please, point to be noted, when I say design, the product is always there in the market, or even the pen is there in your hand. You can create a design, but it has to be new. All IPs have to go through prior art search. That's very, very important. Now this IP has 15 years. People take it as for 10 or 15 years in total. And that's it. There I told you. The trade secret, the best kept secret. I put up a link out there. I'm not going to open it. When you get my presentation, please do see it. So here you are. It is a trade which is, even in the first place, we have all had a lot of secrets with us. Yes, Tyra has raised a question. Please go ahead, Tyra, speak. You've raised your hand for a question. So I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
We can take the questions later after the session.
All right. All right. So here you are. Trade secrets have to be kept confidential. Secret, of course, is confidential, and trade, of course, it makes money. So if you look at China, or you look at trade which took place years ago, even for that matter, if you see Vasco da Gama, when he came down to India via the Cape of Good Hope, the Tyndall who brought him here to Calicut, and the trade aspect which was going on, especially concerning spices, the trade and the secret route which was there. He had a route with him, and the British tried to steal it a couple of times. They were unsuccessful. But ultimately, after many attempts, they were successful. But instead of landing in Calicut, they ended up in Surat. What for? Trade. Trade is very important. You have something called the WTO. What is all that about? It was all about trade. Why? Why trade? What happened? World War I, World War II, we became very bitter. We didn't want to see each other's faces. Europe, we all closed our doors. When we have a fight with our neighbor, we bang our doors. You do a number of things. You don't want to talk to that lady anymore or the gentleman because we fought. That's bad. And then what suffered? Trade. So somewhere we had to open up our doors, and we said that, okay, so US said one conference in Bretton Woods and Pfizer takes the lead. What would they want to do? Well, they wanted their products to be sold in the marketplace. They needed a market. All of a sudden, India in 90s, we all turned beautiful, and we had Miss India, Miss Universe, from Lara Datta to Aishwarya Rai to Sushmita Sen, and plenty of them. Why suddenly? Oh, well, nothing happens suddenly. There's an economic aspect to it. And what is the economic aspect? We have a huge population, and we have buyers over here, and we have sellers over here. We wanted to sell our product. We had consumers. So we started asking for trade. And then we said, okay, we're going to open up our doors. 70s, we told Coca-Cola to go away. 90s, we welcomed them back. Well, Aishwarya Rai became Miss World, and she said, I am applying this cream, and you see, that's how I look beautiful. I use this shampoo, I use this color in my hair. Well, there you are. What happened to the masses? I'm sure even the poorest of poor, the maids that come to our home and give us services, they wanted to buy these things. And well, the media makes an impact. Definitely. And they said, oh, if she's using it, even I will use it. There people go, buy. Market is open. Consumers are there. And you will make profits. And that's why, you see, you have to have a very open mind to start thinking that why is this happening? And from all angles, if you're going to just think, okay, this is what is it, one or two, no, it can't be. When I teach my students, I tell them, you need to put it up there, the top of your mind, the political, economic, and social aspect of every event. Very important. Why? Why did this WTO come up? It was not there. And it took very long. It took years for this building to come up. And what happens inside that building? We have to be very reasonable and rational in our thoughts. And who's running the show? Okay, we need to take answers for that also. And we are quite intelligent and we know what's happening. Not that we are not aware. Yes, we are. But yes, masses, public at large, people, or even I may say the level of poverty in the nation, all these are, coming back to one point, political, economic, social. How does a society function? The economic aspect is very, very important. So looking at our trade secrets, you see n number of them, it is formed like this. I've just put it on purpose. One is the science information. Though nobody is telling you what is happening in their R&D. Nobody. Okay? It's a complete trade secret. Negative information. Well, you were in the lab, suddenly something went wrong and people develop rashes. You're not going to put it up in Times of India, right? It's negative information. Commercial information. How much money am I making on my products? Is Unilever telling you that they have sold so many pieces of soap and this is the kind of, yeah, you must be saying I'm a shareholder, I get the annual report. Oh, well, it's all manipulated by the CAs. Thanks to them, they know it. And even if you try finding faults, you'll find none. Financial information. What do you have in your bank account? Will you tell anybody? And what is the financial balance that is there? Whether you're going in profit or in loss, it is kept a complete trade secret. One, it must be secret. Second, it must have commercial value. Third, reasonable steps to be taken. Copyright. This is one of the most beautiful IPs. You see what? I put a number of photographs out there. So whether it is somebody singing, whether it is a structure or whether a painting, filmmaking, we call it a bundle of rights. You see, I'll just share another anecdote with you. This is what I had heard. Lata Mangeshkar, well-known singer, and A.R. Rahman, of course, he's also called the legend. Now, when she was for the first time, she had heard a lot about the man, and they said, now, Rahman is going to create music for this film and you're going to sing this song. And she was also very happy that, yes, I will be doing it. Well, suddenly it happened so that they end up in the studio. Rahman is sitting and there is a mic and there are no musicians. And he said that, sing. And she was like, what do you mean by sing? Where are the musicians? Somebody has to play the tabla, somebody has to play the guitar or sitar. And when Naushad Sahab used to play, I mean, there were 50 and 100 people playing music, and then I would sing. I says, well, I don't do it that way. You need to sing. Your work is only to sing. So you sing your song and go. She felt very offended. She made up her mind, I'll never talk to this man and I'll never work with him. Now that she had already signed a contract and money was in place, and if you go in litigation, you pay more. Out of sheer anger or upset with the man, she sang the song and she left. After 2 days, she gets a call from Rahman, ma'am, would you come back to the studio? I would want you to hear your song. And she says, what a mad person. I don't even want to see his face. But then again, you had to comply with the contract that you had signed. Here you go, the woman goes back and she hears the song. And she's amazed. She's absolutely amazed. What beautiful music. And she's singing. And she says, how do you do that? And he says, Well, that's how I work. The software creates the music, and he works very closely with all these software companies, whether it is IBM or others, and they are creating music for him. They've created a band. Okay, you can go onto YouTube and see A.R. Rahman music without instruments. There are no instruments. It's only like a watch that you have in your hand, and the gesture that you do will create sound. Very soon, tabla and sitar will be in museums and not at homes, because your music, the band which is there in the hand, which works like a watch, or you could wear it in your leg, music is created. That's what I said. We are completely a different lot. We are innovating all the time. He sits with them. He tells them what he's looking for, and they are doing it for him. And then he had a concert, and people were playing music, and there were thousands of them sitting out there, and everybody was playing music the way he was showing the gestures, and they were playing music. Please do watch on YouTube. A.R. Rahman, music without instruments. Now coming to this, yeah, I've put up the link so you can go and check it out there. Now look at this. One woman wrote a book somewhere in the corner of the world that she sat and she wrote for hours together. And who made money? Well, the publisher, the author, the editor, the translator, the producer, actor, director, software developer, even toys, animation. Everybody made money. One book. Can you imagine one book can make so much money? Well, it does. It did. It's right there in front of you. One of the stories, and everybody is making a lot of money. And there are free riders. What happened? One of the boys took this book. There was a huge queue to have this book to be read. He was in France. Now, this is the problem of jurisdiction or law, if I may say. So he started typing it and he put it on the internet. She's in Britain, he's in France. Which court do we end up in? Issues of law. So writing books and novels, articles, copyright, yes, but the good news, we call it bundle of rights because it is for reproduction, adaptive, distributive, performance, display, attribution, and number of rights under the copyright law. Who are the authors? Yeah, we call them authors. In patents, we call them inventors. So here music is created. Yes, ma'am. Somebody would like to say something?
No, nothing.
Okay. So here the books, the duration is very lovely. You see, till you are alive, it is as per TRIPS agreement 50, India grant 60. The reason being, you see, Vishwabharati University runs with the fund of one man, Rabindranath Tagore. And they felt that Akla Chalo and all these songs would become very dinchak or remix versions. It would be very upsetting. So they approached the government and an extension was given of ahead with 70 years to save Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney. And now they are thinking of going ahead with another probably copyright with 90 years. So till you are alive, like Lata Mangeshkar will get her royalty, and after her death, she will get for 60 years. That is, she has to will it out. There are infringement. People are making a lot of fake copies. You see, the law is very clear again. If you have your DVDs brought from the street or outside the station of 30 rupees, it's a crime. It's a crime. In US, even if you download songs and share it without paying, you will end up paying penalties and fines, and that too in a big number. You'll end up being bankrupt. So here you are. What is fair use? You and I are saved. You and I, professors and students, because we come under the exception fair use. So if I am going to put up, the slides over here, or I have put up photographs, I need not seek permission because it is meant for educational purposes. It's nothing for which I'm making a profit out of. So obviously, students and teachers are safe because you can come under the ambit of fair use. Whether it is allowing or copying of some things or making a drama out of a play, all that for educational purposes, you come under fair use. This is what you get. This is child's play. Let me tell you, anybody can apply, and I would request each one of you, and especially your professors, When you have written an article, please go ahead to the copyright office, which is based in Delhi. You don't have to go physically. It's an e-application. Just go online, put up your folder. That's your document. And the next thing, pay up the fees. Within 6 months, if there is no opposition, you will find a certificate coming to you. It holds very, very important for the institute. You see, when you're looking at NAC accreditation and others, we have gone ahead and at NMIMS, we have registered our syllabus, our prospectus, and our websites also. So I would request that other universities also should go ahead, and you should have these certificates in your file because that works in your favor. Patent, yes, the most important thing. I have kept links for you to see. So it originated from the word literary patents, which implies openness and accessibility. So if you want to read a patent document, since you are into, food making or process or chemicals or whatever, when I teach my students of science and School of Pharmacy, I tell them to read patents. I had a very good friend who was working for Cipla. He would read patents and would realize they have not claimed for something. He would go again in the lab and start working on it and would have another patent for himself. Within a year, he had 3 patents for himself. That brings me to another person. He is one of my favorites and very younger person. His name is Dr. Sriram Karve. He's based in US. His first PhD was from UDCT. Then his second was from US. He works for Shire Group of Companies. He's the vice president today. His MBA at Harvard is sponsored by the company. And in a year, he has 40 patents. In a year. You can just Google him out. He's there. And wonderful, humble human being. What does he do? He's there in the lab for 7, 8 hours or even 9 hours working. He has a team of 20 people with him. So one day he was having a cup of coffee and he realized, what is coffee? And coffee keeps you awake. Okay, so what is it? Caffeine. So he picked up only one ingredient, caffeine, and he started working in the lab. Of course, you have to read a lot of patents to see that you're not infringing on anybody else's patent. 1, 2, you are away from prior art. And there he goes. So in a year, if a man can have 40 patents, obviously he's working very hard for it. Well, to bring it, just to make you understand, his payment today is fantastic, being the vice president of a company, just for the piece of information and giving people to understand that one could reach that level also. His salary is $1,20,000 per month. Per month. So the man is amazing, and as I said, very, very humble and simple. Right. Now, the grant of a patent being an exclusive right which is being granted to a person, that is, yes. Now, point to be noted, there are 2 things. One is the owner, the other is the inventor. Now, owner could be the company. Okay, companies can also be owner. An inventor is 100% human being, flesh, blood, and bone. Inventor invents, owner, company would name themselves. Example, Cipla is the company, inventor is a human being. So you are given a monopoly for 20 years once you disclose it, making, selling, and giving it. It's very similar to a house. So you can live in a house, you can use the patent, you can rent it out, you can sell it, mortgage, abandon, all of that. I'm sorry, I'm exceeding my time. What does a patent do once it is there in public domain? You can start researching on it. As I gave you an example, that in a year reading patents, he had 3 more patents with him. So one need to read patents. There is protection, exploitation, and the government also looks into the enforcement part. What is most important, has to be novel, not obvious, and utility. This is the criteria of patentability. What cannot be patented? I told you in law, please look at what cannot be done, the rest can be done. Atomic energy, no. Traditional knowledge, abstract theories, new forms of new substances, mixtures of known compounds, method of agriculture, all this under Section 3 of the Indian Patent Act cannot be patented. Now something like you have a gun which could target people in the dark. So, and you have made an application to the patent office. The patent office will call the center. The Army, Navy, Air Force, the defense will be in. You will be given a royalty and it will be taken from you. You cannot apply to other countries without the government's permission. The Indian government is very, very careful. And you see, these are things. The pen which is there, it is taking down the sound notes and it will create sound. So here you are. The inventive step becomes very, very important and industrial application. I am just skipping, as I said, because of time constraint.
Please go ahead. It's okay. Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so actually we also have lectures scheduled at our School of Law. So I'm extremely sorry. I would love to come again and talk more in details.
Sure, sure.
Right? Yes. So here you are, the US which grants your patent. I like the line which the USPTO has, the United States Patent and Trademark Office. They say that anything under the sun can be patentable. Whereas in India, we are very, very strict. The examiner will go through the patent. In fact, the examiner is a very good friend of mine. Now he's transferred, he's in Chennai. We are the only country in the world which has 4 patent offices in all the cities. Whereas in the world, everybody has only 1 patent office. So he tells me one evening he rejected the Novartis patent, the application. And 7 in the evening, he was in news on CNBC saying that the Indian examiner has, rejected, whereas 20 countries have granted Novartis a patent. And he very clearly said it's not, we don't allow evergreening of patents. Now, very important point for each one of you is, I have a couple of friends who get very upset and say, oh, idlis and dosas and sandwiches will be patented. So, see, it's going to be a problem for us to make idlis and dosas at home. Sorry, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You're not, patenting idlis and dosas. What you're patenting is the process. What is it that you are patenting? Now, what I made idlis at home was a 24-hour process, 24 hours. And I had to soak the rice, the dal, then mix it and keep it for fermentation. Oh, well, it's short. It's like 2 minutes dosa. I just have to take that powder, put a cup of water, and there you are. So from 24 hours, I've reduced it to 2 minutes. So why will I not get a patent? There is no prior art, I will get a patent. Somebody from SNDT also had approached us, and she had made a product called khichda. It's a very Muslim preparation. It takes very long to prepare. It's, grains and pulses and all of that to be mixed and then made. So it's like, and with meat. Now here she had minus the meat and put those Nutrila chunks, vegetarian. And that again was in a packet. You just had to warm up the packet and consume it. So a 2 minutes work. So from a 12-hour to 2 minutes can be patented. Jam. I went through an application for making jam. I was going through a patent document. There were 25 inventors and I was shocked. I said, how can 25 people invent one bottle of jam? Yes, but then there were people who have, put in effort and they all have to be named as inventors. Now, if your university is applying, the university is the owner and the students or teachers who have worked on this particular invention will be inventors. You see, even being labeled as an inventor is very, very important. Companies come and take up inventors because they feel this is an important person for us who can, generate wealth. So most of us, even in our university, our PhDs, especially with science, are converted into patent applications, and we have been successful. We have, it was something to do with turmeric or acne problem. There you are. We got it. It's not difficult. Let me tell you, it's a very, very easy process. Only application of mind, and do not touch prior art or do not infringe somebody else's patent. You will have it. You must start collecting documents, especially when it comes to copyright, when it comes to trademark, all your functions. You see, we have our functions like Kshitij and Umang, all trademark. Yes, We have a trademark registration for it. We are registered. So nobody can use the word umang. So if you have your, functions like in Xavier's, they have Malhar, or you have something to do with cultural activities and you have a logo or a name, please, even your magazines, if they are there, you can go for a trademark application. All these documents will work for your NAC accreditation or NBA or whatever. So please see to it. You start collecting and there's a separate file. There is an importance to this also. You can sell it, make money for the university. Maryland University in US, 80% of the funding comes from the students, from their innovation and invention. Japan also does the same. What does the student do? The student is labeled as inventor. And if I am A company or B company, I would want to have an inventor with me, because the person is definitely going to look from a different view or an angle. Universities all over the world today see to it that they put their student in that direction wherein they create IP. Whether you write a song, whether you write a journal, whether you are putting up a journal with all the students' articles, a compilation, just go ahead and file for copyright. You will get your certificates. Year and year you can just have a collection, and that also puts up an IP portfolio. 1, 2, there is valuation. Valuation is very, very important. Your land is giving you less money. Giving you an example, and then I'll end it, because then we take a few questions and I have a lecture schedule, so I'm extremely sorry for that. You see, this Crazy 4 was a movie by Rakesh Roshan, and the 30-second jingle was stolen by him. I am actually using the word stolen. And the man, Ram Sampath, was listening to this and he realized it is my music. Somebody has stolen my jingle. It was for an ad. And then he went to the, court, and the court put a stay order. Now you see the court procedure is so beautiful, years after years, tarik pe tarik. And by the time the film is released, it will be 20 or 40-year-old movie and nobody would like to see it. So the best thing is go out of court settlement. So both the lawyers, we were in ILS Pune in a conference, and both the lawyers are known to me, very good friends, Mr. Dr. Virendra Tulzapurkar and Mr. T.N. Darwala. He's no more. He was fantastic human being, one of my favorites. Yes. Shivani wants to say something. Okay. So there in ILS Pune, there was a discussion amongst these two men. What is that Ram Sampath want? And he says, he's out of court settlement, and Rakesh Roshan wants the film to be released as early as possible. So please do something about it. And they say that he's asked for Khoka. So he says, what is Khoka? So he says crores. Tulzapurkar says crores. And what is that? 2 crores. 30 seconds is equal to 2 crores. Your land is giving you less money. Your intellectual property is giving you more money. Please understand this part. So when you're out there to sell your IP also is important. You can mortgage it, you can sell it, you can gift it. It's a piece of property, in short. This is the last slide for the day. Yusuf Hamid. Fantastic human being. Fantastic. What did he do? He put one thing ahead. Human rights. Patent versus patient. He felt the patient is important and not the patent. I will close with this last say by Indira Gandhi. She says she wants a patent-free world. Because you see, pharma companies make a lot of money. An example, a strip of crocin, that one little tablet is 20 paisa. How much are we paying? We are paying more and more. People are out there to make profits and money, but when it comes to patent versus patient, Yusuf Hamid says it is patient which is important and not patent. I think we should all understand patients are important. We are all human beings. And he is there, and when he saw this happening in Africa, he said, I don't care. And he sent medicines to the patients out there. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure talking to each one of you, and I am looking forward to having more sessions. It's wonderful talking to each
Certainly,
one of you.
certainly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Munshi. Can we stop the screen share?
Yes.
Very exhaustive and wonderful session.
One thing, please. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Geeta Ibrahim, would you just like to say a few words before we take the questions so that people have time to send down the questions? Audio is giving some problem. Maybe you can pen it down to me. I will just read out your words. In the meanwhile, I'll begin with the questions. There is a question from Khadija. Where do we
Yes.
find patents, or what is the best resource to find patents on any one particular topic?
You go into patent scope, WIPO, WIPO, patent scope, and you just put in the word. You know, those were the days when people had to send their people into other companies to do spying and seeing what's happening. Today, you don't have to do that. If I just put Cipla, Novartis, Pfizer, Roche, company, I know exactly the number of patents they have, and I know the recent one they filed for. So, you know, it's much easier and so very beautiful. You see, patent scope gives you information, and there are various engines, search engines to search for patent. One is Google patent search, the other is at WIPO patent scope, eSpace, USPTO. You should know how to search and refine your search. It's an art, you have to learn it, but yes, to just simple one, WIPO will help you a lot. And there is one which is by Questel. You know, you could invite this person. He's my student, Pushpak Singh. I'll forward you his email ID, ma'am, and phone number. So he will give you this Questel search, which is a French-based organization, and they do wonderful search. So on one window, if you know, I am like one of the biggest law firms in India, and I need information on Tata. So on my screen, I will have 4 blocks. The screen would have the number of patents, the trademark, the licensing, and the litigation that they have. So it is much faster, but yes, there is a cost. They charge you around 2 lakhs or even more than that. So you can have a word with him. He'll help you out, and in fact, he'll come and give you a free demo also.
Yeah, that's what we will have a session through him. I
Please
think
do.
it was a good
Please.
question. Thank you, Khadija.
My student will be very happy to be with you, and he will definitely get in touch.
Oh, sure. We
Yes.
have a faculty, my colleague Vibha Asija.
Yes.
If we develop an educative game, is it to be a patent
Yes.
or a copyright?
No, games are not patentable in India, but in USPTO, yes. Anything under the sun can be patented. In
Again,
India, games are not patentable. It's copyright.
Vibha also has that also when we have a video channel for the common man or we create an educational resource, how do we prevent
That is all under copyright. All under copyright.
copyright?
It will come under the Copyright Act. Yes. You can make a copyright application right away.
Hafsha wants to say, can I discuss my detail of my invention with a potential investor before filing a patent application?
Sorry, could you come again?
Can I discuss the details of my invention with a potential investor
No.
before filing a patent?
No. I'll tell you why. You have to first put a non-disclosure agreement or a confidential agreement. Otherwise, that person will take away your IP and you will be left high and dry.
Yeah.
People
Vibha,
do that. Don't discuss without an NDA. Non-disclosure agreement is a must. When you open your mouth, first you have your paperwork done by your lawyer or law firm. Please see to it that they put up this paper of an NDA. Otherwise, do not discuss. Do not talk to your neighbor, your friends. It turns into prior art. It can destroy your monopoly for 20 years. You cannot make a patent application if they come in opposition and say, we know about it. That's it. You're out. You're not getting a patent. Yes.
Vibha asks, are blogs and websites also copyrighted?
Yes. You can go ahead with a copyright application.
Mr. Kharadkar asks, can software be patented?
Software per se, no. Software embedded in hardware, yes. In India, software is not patentable.
Hardware can, but we cannot combine the two, right?
You can.
We can.
Hardware embedded in software, yes, it can. But software per se is copyright. NASSCOM has been trying that for years together in the parliament, that instead of a copyright, patent should be granted. US grants. Please note, you don't have to make applications in India. You just have to inform the patent office in India that you are making an application to US for this software. You have to inform before making an application abroad. Yes.
Sanjana says, greetings, ma'am. Wonderful session. Ma'am, in the fashion world, we do face issue of designs getting copied. And
Yes.
sometimes it happens unintentionally. How can we prevent that so that embarrassment can be avoided?
Again, an NDA is very important, confidential agreement. Whoever comes inside that room comes without a mobile phone, because that's the fastest way of sending messages to people. So, Manish Malhotra and all these guys are very, very careful. We had, in fact, Ritu Kumar, who was screaming her lungs out at Taj, saying that, you guys, your lawyers should do something about it. And we said, you have to take protection. First of all, put them under an NDA, inform your interns, don't allow people from outsiders to enter your place, and keep it a secret. I told you, all IPs are secret in the first place. You have to be very secretive of what you're developing.
Can we patent design of any medical
No.
in India?
Patent designs are in US, not in India. We come under the Industrial Design Act. Sabyasachi has been the only one, and in fact, he has been felicitated by the Indian Patent Office for the number of industrial designs and his gowns and you name it, the lengas, everything that he has gone ahead for an industrial design. The monopoly being 15 years, 1-5.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Geeta Ibrahim, I think there is some audio problem for her, but she has sent a message. She has congratulated you for an excellent presentation with very
so much
samples. Looking forward to more interactions. Also would have to enroll for the IPR courses. As you rightly said, age is not a bar. And congratulations to Dr. Leela and I.
You should go to WIPO for their courses. They are beautiful courses in WIPO. And, they have these short-term courses. Even teachers who are there, they have these, thing opened up for teachers. Few teachers are invited by WIPO. Even Japanese patent office, you go to the Indian website, you'll find JPO inviting teachers, patent agents and trademark agents for short-term courses for 3 weeks or so. So you need to approach the government, and the JPO sponsors it. When I was the only one in India to be selected in 2007, and you see the Indian Patent Office and the Japanese Patent Office. So the Japanese Patent Office sponsored the entire stay, food, everything, and the air ticket along with the visa. I did not have to pay a single paisa. And it was an honor, because when I landed at the airport, and when they saw that the Japanese government has invited, you see the scene completely changes. So the Japanese government sponsors the time you sit in an aircraft from here till the time you land back. Everything is sponsored. Everything is paid for. In fact, they took us to the Kyoto Tower. They took us for a tour. They took us to the Japanese Patent Office. They took a lot of care. I mean, I found it such a wonderful experience of my life.
You're well deserving, Dr. Munshi.
No, thank you. You see what happened 2007, people were not aware. And we received, and since we work very closely with the patent office, we received a call, saying that we are nominating people. So we would like one nomination from your end. So there were few nominations, but today there are a lot of people applying, you see. So from all over India, all the professors are applying. You need to just approach the Indian Patent Office, look at their website. All the information is there. So the Japanese Patent Office invites professors to come visit Japan, learn, and they give you a certificate, and they have their journals. You can pass down your articles to them. They'll be happy to publish them also. I can send you the link.
Thank you so much. A lot of faculty from my college, Payal Maheshwari, Vibha Sija, Dr. Anuradha Bakshi, have all congratulated you for the fantastic session. But there are just one or two more questions. Can
Yes,
we
ma'am.
use the patent granting period after filing? How to
Sorry, come again.
Can we reduce the patent granting period after filing? How to give patent agent exam in India? There are two questions, I think.
Okay, the patent agent exam, you can just go to the patent office website right away, and they have the exams once a year. Initially it was twice, now they made it once a year. They conduct it in centers in Mumbai and other places also. So it's a very nice thing, but you should be thorough with the act. You know, from the first page to the act to the last page with the form and fees, you should be completely thorough. That one book should be, you know, you should know it in and out. And looking at the filing, the monopoly is 20 years. Wherever you file in the world, you get a priority date. And from that date, your monopoly begins.
Vibhasija's question is it costly to copyright in India?
No, not at all. In fact, it's one of the most easiest and inexpensive, you know, IP that you can apply for.
Patenting is expensive.
Infringement, you have lawyers and they charge you a lot.
No, for patenting, it is expensive.
It is. It is. But for startups and everything, they have put up their forms and fees. You can just, you know, to know more about patents, I'll just suggest one thing. You need to go to the patent office and look into the FAQs, frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
You'll get all your answers. All the forms and fees are there. Everything is mentioned. You just have to visit it once.
Yeah.
All of you will be very happy after that and satisfied. The patent office has done a brilliant job, you know, putting up all the information. Every information is there.
A lot of students have also thanked you for the excellent session. I can read, I don't want to read the names. All the stuff, I mean, Riddhi, Hafsa, I can read some of them. Even faculty, Dr. Pratima Goyal, Vibhuti Barve, Jacqueline Colasso, all of them. I'm very thankful to the messages that are flowing. Sunita Jaiswal, so many of them who have thanked you. I think there are a lot of questions coming, but we will have a part 2, a next session from you.
Definitely, I'll be happy to be there for all of you. Thank you so much.
Lecture. Dr. Minelli, would you just like to propose a vote, formal vote of thanks?
Yeah, good afternoon all. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. On behalf of the Institute's Innovation Council, IIC, College of Home Science, Nirmala Niketan, I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. At the outset, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Nazima Manshi for gladly accepting our invitation to be our resource person. Madam, we thank you for an excellent presentation and sharing your knowledge with us today. We look forward to having sessions with you in the future. We are thankful to our principal, Dr. Geeta Ibrahim, as well as the management for their support. A special thanks to all members of the organizing committee. We have Dr. Ila Dedia, our president, Dr. Anjali Srivastav, our convener, and other members of the organizing team. Ms. Vrinda Udayavar, Ms. Vibhuti Kedekar, Ms. Fatima Kader, and Trisha Ganguly. We thank you for your support and coordination. We also like to thank our technological partner, EdFly Learn. Last but not the least, a heartfelt thanks to all our participants for attending this webinar. With this, we move towards the end. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, Ila ma'am. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to come again. Once again, please do invite. I will be there.
Thank you very much.
Just the last part of it,
Maybe
which
you
I've
can
told
have
you, I will mail you all the details.
Please have your videos on, all of you all.
Thank you so much, each one of you, for being there and listening so very patiently. You've been a very good audience. Ma'am, I request you to just
Your
send
videos
me.
on so we can take some pictures.
All right. I'm looking forward to being with you once again. And very, very good audience, I would say.
Thank you very much. Thank you, each one of you.
Thank you, ma'am.